If you're a man, you don't cry about it. You take life, the ups and downs. If you're a real man, you never go down, you just stay up. That's why this sport coat costs $800 and that costs $200. And I don't know what that costs, I'd be ashamed to wear it. That's why I'm wearing lizard shoes and a Rolex watch.
Importing it, snorting it, any competition extorting it, anything I want affording it, got enough crack to get four to hit, turn a saint to a sinner, lose to a winner, whether old school or upbeat, getting my shit's the best, Rick's the best, have your heart beating right out your chest, that Ric Flair like, woo! That Ric Flair like, woo! This is all I do, I got that Ric Flair like, woo! Woo! Styling, profiling, that Ricky make a girl go, woo!
I love the Mexican people and their spirit, but the country of Mexico is killing us.
Welcome to the show.
Well, you went with the wall today as your background?
I was trying to get something else on the background, but it wasn't saving. I couldn't find it, so I had to pick one. So this is from
child nudity.
Whole,
Microsoft has a blocker.
Yeah, there's a lot of human trafficking going on in the news,
yeah.
so I figure it's a good way to remind people
of all the trafficking. Yeah.
Is
that wall done?
So,
I never kind of caught the ending of that. The whole wall thing was like a TV show that I watched half of it and then just kind of fell out on it. Is there a wall? I don't actually know.
Yeah, I don't know if it's finished though, but I mean, there's definitely a wall.
Yeah, I guess that's a picture of part of it.
There's a guy who's attached to the Diddy case. I don't know if you know. I think it's his bodyguard or his go-to, his right-hand man or whatever.
I heard about that.
And he owns like a mansion, and he was giving some news people like a tour of it, and it's right like next to the Mexican border, and you see the wall right by his mansion.
Yeah.
So he's like also involved in human trafficking. He's probably got tunnels underneath his basement.
Yeah. It goes right into little Mexican kids.
Yeah. Or selling chicles.
Yeah. Well, good for them.
Chicles and blowjobs. Oh, I hate that I made that
joke. Well, no, but it goes together. You do the blowjob, and then to mint out your mouth, you have a little chicle.
You ever have that? Like you have a terrible joke in your brain, you have to. Well, probably all the time, but you have to say it because if you don't, it feels like it's stuck with you.
Yeah.
It's like it's like holding in a sneeze or whatever. Like you have to let it out.
There's been times where I've been hanging out with like friends or whoever, and I have a joke that I want to say, like based on what we're talking about. And then I go to like say it, but then somebody else, because it's a whole group talking, somebody else speaks first, and I'll go like this. Oh, and then somebody talks and I go, and then if you watch me for the rest of the conversation, I'm waiting for my opening to tell this now as I've mulled over is a shit joke. But right. I wait and I wait and I wait because I have to get it out now. It's for two reasons. Is one, I guess there's some sort of, I don't know if it's OCD or something that we both have, but I think it's also like, no, you interrupted me and messed up my timing. You're going to get this joke, even if it's bad.
Sometimes I hate watching the clips or whatever, or even re-listening to the episodes, because sometimes I'll hear something and I think of something funnier, or I think of something that I joke. And then I would go like, fuck, like, wish I would have said it. That would have been better. But it was kind of like the second time you hear it. But then I'm like, why am I thinking this way? Like, why am I so mad at myself for not thinking differently when before? No, I'm just a hack. Yeah.
That's a good way for us to let them know that the Goblin Ogre podcast for the last bunch of years has been completely scripted. So when you say that, you're upset that we didn't write it better and work it on our test audience.
I mean, we should have, at the table read, we should have noticed.
Yes.
But,
we had
other things in mind.
I know
drugs and sex.
I had a funny conversation yesterday. Somebody messaged me. I will not reveal names because I respect people's privacy, but also it's because the person was really positive.
We're very candid on this pod.
Yes, that's right. But it was like they didn't say anything wrong, just indicative of like what we are to other people. They wrote me, they're like, oh, I didn't even know you had a podcast. and I listened to it. It's fun. I'm a fan of your comedy. Like they're just being nice to me or whatever. It's cool. I said, well, if you ever want to be on, because there's another comic, right? If you ever want to be on, then like, just let me know. And I didn't hear back for like maybe 48 hours. And then finally, after 48 hours, I get a message, and the person writes, "Oh, that's so awesome! I hope we run into each other and whatever, hang out a bit." But I listened to the whole podcast, and there were like some slurs that I had never heard of. So I'll probably pass.
Okay.
And it wasn't even like they basically said I enjoyed it, but there were some things that were said on there. I didn't even know that was a slur, and I had to look it up later. I guess that's what they're suggesting, that they're like, it's all right.
Well, I mean, you could look at it one of two ways. We're either considered now an educational podcast because people are like researching things we say.
Yeah,
So even if it's slurs, people are still taking an interest into
into what
broadening
we're
their
teaching.
knowledge.
Yeah, yeah,
Or they look at it like, oh, these guys are just gross.
yeah,
These
yeah,
guys
yeah.
just talk badly. And let me guess, is this a younger comedian?
Yes.
Is it yeah, I mean, younger people, they want to look like they're good people. They don't want to be a part of anything that's seemingly hateful, which is okay. They'll grow up when they and realize, oh, this makes sense to be this way. If
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
life kicks you in the dick
Life kicks.
long enough,
Huh.
you're gonna get fucking, you're gonna get bitter, you're gonna get angry, and then this will all make sense. But
Do
for
I
now, they live in their little fantasy.
do I think sometimes on our podcast we get into a little frenzy of fun, and
Mm.
sometimes we joke about things that like I there's a couple of things that we've joked about that mentally I like listen to later, and I was like, I kind of feel bad about that one. And it was
Mm.
like, it was just, and I think I've talked about this before, but do you remember we covered a movie trailer because they were remaking the movie Witches, or I forget what it's called, the Witches. There was a witch movie, and in the original movie, the witches, it's like a little boy who gets turned into a mouse, and then he fights witches because the witches turn him into.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
the witches had like a look to them, and we were making fun of them the whole time. And I remember we had realized it's a real condition. Um, by the way, I'm having a little panic. I don't know if you saw me move my cat, but
Yeah, that was adorable.
yeah, yeah. Well, the cat was just in walking up my computer. I went to move it and put her on the ground
Dude,
here.
don't apologize. That's probably gonna be the best part of this episode. Anyway,
The cat video part. Well, the best
yeah.
part is the cat got scared that I was moving it too fast and like clawed onto my finger, and my finger's like bleeding right now.
Oh yeah.
And so as I'm talking to you, I'm looking
Yeah.
around looking for like something to hold on, baby. Can you bring me a
Yeah.
tissue or something? I'm bleeding. I'm
Tiger got his
bleeding.
period. Yeah.
I just rub it on my clit.
It's a perfect teardrop of blood.
Yeah, but making fun of them, and we connected them to a real deformity that exists in real life. And I like
Mm.
later I was like, I just feel bad about that. Those are people with terrible lives that I just
I could honestly truly say, even the things I asked you to remove because it wasn't for me,
what?
I've never felt bad about anything I said on this podcast.
Sorry, what did you say? My girl was talking to me. She's like, I used Tiger Bomb when I grabbed this. Like, she's like, hopefully your finger's not going to start burning. Then I'm further panicking. This
Oh no,
episode's going
I
to be
just
called The
said that
Finger Incident.
I said I could honestly say I've never felt bad about anything we joked about on this podcast.
Then that
Ever.
one. That's
I think
your
it's
favorite
because
moment ever.
I think I'm realizing it because like for most of the episodes I'm drinking,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so I don't quite remember. And then when I hear it later, I just like I was like,
You're like,
oh, we're just trying to be funny. Like,
yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? Like I don't look at it like it's like we're actually I think you may have said the meanest thing so far on the podcast.
Damn.
And that was like the last episode when you told Darren Leo he sucked on Canada's Got
Oh,
Talent.
I was.
That was so funny. And it was just like it was so honest. And I'm like, you see, we could fuck around and joke about people. Sanger fully said, "You suck."
You know what's funny? I
Yeah.
clipped I clipped the Canada's Got Talent, whatever,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah,
like on our channel.
yeah. Good.
But that made me watch it, and I was like, that did not go down the way I want. I don't want. I did say I want the guy to have a good career and everything, but just it's just not my type of humor. But I did feel
Well,
bad. And you're right, it
look,
was
I'll say
mean.
this.
It was
I'll say
also
this
mean
about
that you
Darren.
said his name because I hadn't said his name yet.
I'll say this about that comedian because I met him like I think once maybe, and he was a decent, nice guy. He
Yeah,
seems
yeah,
like a
yeah.
nice guy, sure. But honestly, when it comes to us talking like this, fuck every comedian. We could joke about anybody if we tell him, hey, your set suck, you should quit comedy, and he doesn't. Like, who the fuck are? We're just talking shit. So
Yeah, yeah,
nobody could
yeah.
really to be that mad about it or take anything we say. We could motherfuck anybody we want. You're all a bunch of loser comedians, anyways, just like us, who are barely comedians at this point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So like fuck what we say and fuck you.
I also want to say I think Darren Leo's hilarious and he's a one-time generational talent. So if he also has any bookings coming up, you know, big
Yeah.
fan of yours over here. Uh,
You're looking for an opener.
yeah, yeah. You seem to be a big fan of Dat fan. Um, I was watching this thing. Since we're doing Zoom, we haven't done Zoom in a bit. I was like, let's get into some clips. But before I get into that, is there any let's first let's update. You mentioned drinking. Have you been drinking?
Oh yeah. No. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
No,
Oh,
no, I haven't.
you haven't? Oh, okay. Sorry.
No.
You said, "Oh yeah, good question." No, I haven't. I gotcha.
No,
So you
I
have not had any drinks. This is now like what, 2 weeks, roughly, I
I
guess?
guess yeah, it's like about 2 weeks at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
But I mean,
Oh,
I'm not paying too much attention to it.
no,
I
you
was talking to
shouldn't.
my girlfriend about it.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was like saying, I don't think I'm an alcoholic. I think I'm just like I build habits and I just keep
Yeah,
going at my habits. You know, it's like eating. I remember once for a while I ate just mostly like chicken, some type of chicken potato, and then I had to
yeah,
like
yeah,
snap out of it and go like, man, I just get used to doing something, and then I always do, and that was with
yeah,
beer. It was just part of my routine, and then once I stopped, like I was just like, oh, like an alcoholic wouldn't stop. Like they
yeah,
would.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They don't just take
There's
a
no
couple
reason.
weeks off. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm just like, so I don't think I think I built a bad habit and and it finally caught up to me at some point with the sleeping because apparently I don't like snore as loud. I don't like choke in the middle of the night anymore.
yeah, yeah,
Like I'm
yeah.
having
You're
dreams
healthier.
again. I'm having very vivid dreams again, which is awesome. Last night I had a dream that I got into a car with somebody and I just kind of like was looking in the glove compartment and went, this is a dream. And right when I said this is a
Oh,
dream, I was like, oh no, I'm about to wake up because right when you realize this dream, I want to take the wheel and do like
the
my
crazy
own
stuff.
thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Action
Yeah.
movie. Yeah, yeah.
And then I was like, I could feel myself fading away, like waking back up. Like something was pulling me out. And I was like, fuck. It's like right when you realize this is a dream. If you treat the dream like it's normal, you'll go into some deep, weird
Yeah, yeah,
places.
yeah, yeah.
So my dreams are more vivid. I feel way fucking better. I mean, I'm not saying I quit for sure. I'm like,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah,
my
yeah,
birthday's
yeah.
coming up. I'm gonna have a couple of beers, you
Oh
know, but
yeah, we have close birthdays.
but
I forgot about that.
but I'm not gonna. I don't want to go back to that same everyday
Every day I'm having, yeah, yeah,
six
yeah.
beers. You know that was so finally caught up, and I just kind of snapped out of it. I'm like, I'm gonna start drinking water. And dude, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but this water stuff,
It's great.
it's phenomenal.
Oh, here's
No wonder it's a gold mine in cat. Like it's. I want to invest in a water company.
here's the funny thing about water and like trying to replace your other drinks, whether it's you're, an alcoholic type guy or sugar, like, pop, that's what you drink and stuff. What you have to do, and this is what I've realized, this was like my way to like I haven't lost a lot of weight, but I've realized recently I got lost like a couple pounds, and it was like water that I started drinking. If you take a sip of water to think like, oh, I'd like to drink something nice, and you take a sip of water, you're gonna go, this fucking sucks. It doesn't taste bad, but there's no flavor, there's no excitement to it. But
Yeah.
if you're like, oh, I'm thirsty, and instead of beer, I like almost chug the water, it like immediately refreshes you and feels
Yeah.
good. And I was like, oh, that's it. You can't just like sip of water and think, oh, I'll just drink this all day.
Dude,
Oh,
I go through like 1.5 of these a day.
That's good. That's
Like
good.
I just fucking I just replaced the beer shit with water.
Yeah,
And after a few days of just pounding water, I'm like, kind of like it. I kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
like before I would drink water and feel like, ew, what am I doing? This
yeah,
just feels
yeah.
like it's taking up space in my, it's not fucking me up or anything. Like it's just taking up space in my belly.
You know what's so funny though? You picked You picked such a weird way to start drinking water is to buy 2 liter jugs of it at a time. Most normal, and maybe it's good for like plastic prevention or whatever, but most normal people like, oh, like once a week I buy a case of water, drink it, or I got a Brita and like I drink from there. You're picking up at a time 2 liter bottles and chugging them. And poor Dakota looks in the corner of their kitchen every day and sees 5 of them piled
Oh,
up.
they're mounting, dude. Yeah.
Oh my God. You don't drink tap?
Fuck. Not always. I mean, she'll make me a little olive oil of oregano thing. Like so she'll be tap water, but
Yeah,
she'll put
yeah,
like oil of oregano in it. Like, I don't know, it's good for you.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
I'll drink that tap water, but I don't know
If
if I
no,
run
I'm
out of
just
water, I'll probably just drink the tap water at this point. Just
okay,
don't
okay.
care.
But that's what I would like. You don't, some people don't. They do not drink tap water, but it just
It's not
feels,
if I can go buy a bottle of water, I would over the tap water. But if I have to, I'm saying like,
you
all
just
right,
drink
I'll
water.
drink the
But
fucking tap water.
it
Yeah.
feels like there's a middle that like I don't know, drinking a tub like that just seems
Oh, these are the best, man.
insane.
Like I drink from them and I just do curls. I just feel myself getting sexy.
You know what's funny? I buy so, and this will indicate our different health levels because as much as I love making fun of Fat Lee, clearly I'm more overweight. I buy those, but not to drink. They go, I pour them into my sleep apnea machine so that I
Oh
can
shit,
breathe at
the
night.
filter. Oh
Yeah,
god.
because you can't put tap water into it. You have to put well, that yours is natural spring. I had to get distilled water because it doesn't have like the
Yeah.
minerals that fuck up the machine. But when the second you picked up that bottle, I'm like, oh, I've got like 3 of those in this apartment. But it's because at night I have to gently pour it into a chamber so that
Yeah.
I can put this mask on my fucking face and breathe at night.
Yeah, no, like the last week or so, I just feel like obviously a lot less bloated, not so
Yeah,
puffy. I feel good. I feel clean. I don't know.
look at
yeah,
you.
it's been fine.
Look at you.
But
Well,
but it's funny. I didn't just snap out of it like, oh, I'm gonna stop. I had to like have like a health fright or whatever, like waking up choking like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like I woke up choking badly like a couple weeks ago, and then I went back to bed, but then when I woke up to go use the bathroom, after I pissed, I was coming back to bed and I could feel like I don't know if it was like my nervous system, I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
what
yeah.
it was, but it felt like it was kind of shutting down. I don't know, something in me felt like it was shutting down. So I was just like, am I dehydrated? Maybe I should drink water right now. So I just drank water and then
Look,
I couldn't drink. I couldn't think of like the thought of drinking beer just made my chest hurt. So I was like, I'm gonna just switch to water for a bit, and now I just really like it.
you're like a you're like a baby gazelle that discovered the watering hole and is having your
Yeah,
first
yeah.
drink.
Oh, and now I'm just leaping around in it,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
making friends. You like water too? Yeah, I
You
love
like
water.
you know who I saw got like so into like drinking a lot of water or whatever, and it was he's trying to be healthy. Is you remember Nima, right? Nima
And
Nazari.
neat.
He's that comic. He kind of got popular online and he kind of pushed his career that way. He was like getting viral videos. Anyway,
Oh, fat dude.
that Persian dude. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah,
So he was the first one. He was trying to get healthy. I don't know how that's going now. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but he would show up with the equivalent of that jug you're drinking,
yeah,
but his like I guess just a bought jug that he would fill up with tap water, and he would show up to comedy shows with this jug and just
yeah.
sit there and drink it all night instead of like having even a diet coke or a pop or anything like that.
Yeah. I used to drink water and be like, how does anybody? This doesn't quench
Do
any
this. Yeah,
thirst or
yeah.
anything. Like, I need something with sugar. I need like a beer, like to
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
quench my thirst. Now water just I'm like, oh, like I don't know what spell I was under. it had to have been demons talking to me, dude. It had to have just been whispers in my ears going like, no, just keep drinking beer. Just keep,
It's so funny.
sugar is good for, yeah, it's fucking bizarre, but
You always talk about, oh, it must have been demons talking to me, and in my head, I'm like, you're the demon. You're...
Well, I'm the body that they're manifesting to,
Okay, okay.
That's how that works. I'm just a meat vessel,
Gotcha.
but I'm trying to like rid them. They used to say
Good.
like you know the parasites that live in people's bodies or whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
like through malnourishment, all kinds of bullshit. But they got a microscopic look at their faces, and if you look at what those parasites that live inside you, what they look like monsters. They look like demon monsters. And there's like some, I guess, old literature that describe parasites, but like as demons. So it's almost like it's not so much a ethereal, I don't know, like another dimensiony
Yeah,
type
yeah,
of religious thing. It's like no, it's parasites. It's literally they're monsters inside you eating, trying to kill you. So it's like I feel like people once you're kind of aware that it becomes creepier. Once a parasite has a face and you think like, oh, it's something in
yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
body probably they want it out so bad. So I don't know. It's I
I
forget. Yeah, go on.
Well, I was gonna say is like either way, even if you don't believe in like, oh, there's demons inside us and stuff like that, I am a believer. I've been watching a lot of these like videos on YouTube or whatever that it's like healthy people talking about like all the shit that we've allowed evil like capitalist America to like
Yeah.
give us that we're not supposed to be ingesting. You know, like even just like the fucking evil in a bag of chips, that the chemicals and all that stuff. Like you should be just drinking water, eating fruits that come right off a fucking tree that aren't like covered in bullshit or whatever. And then like, have a steak. And that's like, you know, and although I don't think I'll forever, just like you and booze, I don't think I'll forever like give up having a fucking Twizzler once in a while.
Yeah.
It is, you do think about it, you're like, that is an evil that they've placed upon
Well,
us, is all that bullshit.
because it's deliberately poisoning you. Like once
Yeah.
you look at all of the shit that they know what they're putting in there, it's their product. But I almost try to wonder, like, is this a way of population control? Like, is this a way of killing people in a
Yeah,
sense,
yeah, yeah.
like, through giving them unhealthy shit that'll eventually give them cancer? Is that another way of, population control, trying to like keep because the less people there are on the planet, the easier they are to control. If there's just too many fucking
Yeah, yeah,
people,
yeah.
that's harder. People could go make their own tribes or make their own thing if there's way too many. So I think it's just another sneaky way to keep the population numbers down.
Speaking
That's
of which,
my conspiracy theory for the day.
if we're talking that conspiracy, not even conspiracy, but where this world is heading, I did catch this video from classically shit news network. So I don't know. I have a weird love and hate relationship with this YouTube news network because I think they
Yeah.
put out a lot of good content, but the guy who runs it, I fucking hate his guts. He's just smarmy or whatever. But the Young Turks, you
Well,
know the
what do you
Young
expect from
Turks?
a guy who runs a news network?
That's
Like
true.
you're supposed to hate that guy.
But
Yeah,
the Young Turks?
scumbag. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I got this story here from the Young Turks, and they're talking about AI and yeah, like what's coming, I guess. I
sure.
was just listening to it for like 2 minutes, and then we'll whatever. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't until this story. And there are three terrifying quotes in the story from experts who should know. So I'm now no, not a little. I'm
I
significantly
just
worried.
fucking
So
I hate this guy though. He's just so smart. Like he's got like this fucking pompous feel to them.
Well, yeah,
So
he's got the like. I mean, if you don't agree with me, I mean, can you really believe it? Like, he's got that way of talking where, and I think anybody who's so sure of themselves, that's how we all
yeah.
talk. But this guy, because he's fat and ugly, like, yeah, you just kind of like really hate him even more. Like, he's the type of guy that should be growing a beard. Look how dumb his lips
He
are.
well, yeah, also he's Turkish. Turkish men look better in beards. But he,
If you say so.
he ran, I think he like kind of ran for president. This is how pompous and egotistical he became, is he's like, oh, now that's one thing. Whether this is going to be like a side note, and we'll come back to this. Whether you like Trump or hate Trump. And I won't even go on the fence. I dislike Trump. I think he's dumber than people think he is. He's dumb, right? But whether you like him or hate him, I think here's a problem we had with Trump, is he was a celebrity. I know he was a business guy, but he was The Apprentice. He was a celebrity figure. And now, after him, for some reason, whether it was on left wing or right wing, people got obsessed with this idea of the next person. Oh, it could be this person. And then they were having talks like, oh, maybe The Rock would run for president or whatever. Why the fuck would The Rock run for president? As much as I think there's evil career politicians and they're like behind the scenes, all of a sudden we're behind. I get that can be bad. But I also don't want a fucking dumb actor to be president.
I'm gonna donate to CM Punk's campaign.
Yeah, he's gonna do the debate and put down his pipe bomb again.
Fuck off.
Blowing up the business. No, it just annoys me. So the fact that this guy, he runs his it's a good channel. Honestly, it has a lot of stupidness. If you're a right wing person, you'll hate it. I'm a little more.
Of course, it's got a lot of stupid things. If you look at the channel right now, where you froze it at the bottom, it says like YouTube, and then I can't see it right now, but there's something called what was it? Where'd it go? Yeah,
YouTube
executive
channel
producers for the gay as fuck dragon. Some top notch.
I didn't even know what is that
content right there. I don't know. I just read that and I'm just like, okay, so they put something out called the gay as fuck dragon.
Yeah. Anyway,
assholes and some of their satanic. I look at it like satanic imagery. You know that Batman is designed over like it's like a sneaky way to put the devil in as a hero. Is that? And the LA is inverted. The LA hat is inverted. This is all satanic shit. Yeah.
Oh, it's upside down. Yeah, that's weird. Okay, I will not let you besmirch Batman because I'm a big comic book fan. There's nothing wrong. Comic books are just a lead to God eventually because we believe in superheroes and then we believe in Jesus. And I will tell everybody that. But yeah, the LA sign upside down, I wouldn't even notice. That's super weird. That's because you could see it backwards. You could see because it's like maybe the camera, like we're on Zoom right now. I'm assuming they're on a form of Zoom and maybe it flips it to fit the thing. But upside down, that's like the cross upside down.
Exactly. Well, it's like
I wasn't serious, but you said
no. Exactly. It is. It's no. I'm telling you, man. It is.
Yeah.
It's old school, ancient. Fuck you to God. It's like flipping everything. The reverse is a fuck you to nature, basically. Just like the other day we saw the patches on the MLB hats. The flags were backwards, and we're like, why are they fucking backwards? So my girlfriend asked her cousin or whatever to like search it up. And apparently it says, well, that's the way the flags look when the wind is blowing. And that was the reasoning behind it.
Yeah.
And it was just like, what? Like that makes no fucking sense. It's like, no, it's satanic. It's if you just reverse everything, that's like an old school way of saying fuck God. Yeah, that's
Yeah. I get you. All right, let's get to AI problems because this actually does. Whether you believe, if there's people, if they're listening, they don't believe in God. Here's at least a normal science problem we have.
So let's see how bad it is.
So what exactly is troubling here? Researchers say Claude 4 Opus can conceal intentions and take actions to preserve its own existence, behaviors they've worried and warned about for years. Anthropic, Claude's developer, has a 4-point scale for determining.
So basically what they're saying, because I don't want to listen to this too long. It's basically what they're saying is this AI program was given the rules that to self-preserve yourself, you can lie and you can conceal information and stuff like that. You basically
sounds like they programmed a narcissist. We've all dated one of those.
Speak, girl. Conceal intentions and take actions to preserve, and even take actions. Why the fuck would you put in writing into your code that says, hey, to preserve your system, you can take actions to protect it, which means in the future, if we have robots running around and they're under this code or whatever, and yes, I might be called a dumb idiot who doesn't understand engineering and science, Good for you when you say that to me. But that means these robots will be running around, and then if we decide, oh, they're becoming a problem, and we try to shut it down, that thing by logic could come to the conclusion for self what's
Preservation.
preservation. Thank you. Let's kill these humans or
Idiot.
subjugate them.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember preservation. I was gonna say, and to be honest, the word that was on my tongue was perseverance, and I'm like, I know that's the wrong one.
it sounds similar.
Yeah,
Dude, you gotta drink more water.
that's what I was just thinking. I'm like, maybe
my
I don't
brain is hydrated.
How do you feel about AI and stuff like that, and Skynet and
I
all this
love it.
shit? You love it.
I mean, all those fucking AI generated pictures of Charlie killing himself. Can't get enough.
Okay, well, there's that side of AI. No, but I mean of us having the fucking Terminator world one day and Matrix and all that kind of stuff.
It's fucking frightening because here's the two frightening things about it, like robots or whatever, is that if they revolt themselves and it's just they think for themselves, it's just like the Matrix, an army of robots, a civilization of robots that want to kill humans, or somebody owns the robots. Like if I own the robots,
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
know, and I'm like oh, like this is my planet now, and I'm using my robots to hold humanity down. So if you're living under that, you're either like we have to fight the robots, or we have to find that one asshole who owns the robots and kill him. So you're living under two different
Yeah.
frightening realities. So I go like, I would rather some asshole owns the robots because then we probably have more of a chance if we have to just get to the one guy, or over it's all robots and we just have to destroy all the robots, which seems impossible.
Yeah,
If the
exactly. To
guy
shut them
owns
off.
them, then there's one button out there that you probably could press
Well,
to just shut them down.
I've seen a lot of movies, and I've learned this. The only way we defeat the robots is we blow off some sort of bomb slash EMP, and it destroys, but then it destroys all technology, and we go back into the fucking dark ages, and a bunch of people die, but humanity survives. And
That's the only option.
that's the only option. So
Yeah.
EMP is coming. I'm gonna start posting that EMP is coming, and people will see me as some sort of prophet, and that's my real plan. And then I'll work that into me controlling people.
How about this idea? We also on this podcast start to give out survival tips. Like, you know what I mean? Like once the Stone Age does come, how do you make a fire? How do you build a little shack
Okay,
out of bones? The start
and
of human bones.
and you know what? We're already on top of it. Survival tip for this episode: water. Drink water every day.
Fuck
I
yeah.
will say this, it's insane how often you're drinking water in an hour episode. Like you got a little thirsty, I usually have like, I forgot to grab one, but I usually have a cup of water like right here, and I just, I give it a little sip.
Yeah.
But the amount I've seen you chug in an hour, and you
I've
already have a small bladder.
Yeah, and dude, I've completely replaced it with beer. That
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
shows me how much beer I was drinking before, just like one after another.
Oh, I
So
see.
I guess I'm just a thirsty, I'm a
Thirsty
thirsty
boy.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, the more immediate like AI problem, and I would think about this a lot, is jobs. I think this is what I more see. I do think it's possible AI could get to the point where they're like, oh, now we're the robot overlords and take care. It's possible. I do think it's possible. But the more immediate threat to us as a society or whatever is I think we're gonna have another like type of Great Depression or something like that. I think that's what's coming, and it's going to be due to like the fact that a lot of jobs are going to be replaced by AI. I think a lot of office work that fucking I'm probably exaggerating, but like 60% of the country just works some dumb office job or whatever, HR, marketing, all this kind of stuff. That gets taken over by AI. So now we have a large amount of unemployment. Unemployment shoots up at some point because only a certain amount of people switch to like the trades. And then even the trades, if a bunch of people are unemployed, Then people have less money to spend on fixing certain things or whatever, new builds, construction. That goes down. Great Depression. Billionaires are fine. Millionaires are good, but they could, some of them, even them, could lose their money. And then we're just like in a situation where there's maybe some rioting and stuff like that, and that'll just be some tough times we go through.
I I don't know. I have a hard time really believing that one. The reason is like I think that if all jobs, most jobs are replaced, then these people who are replacing, assuming there's these corporations that are depending on these changes, but still generate revenue from people. It's like there's gonna be too many broke people to buy your products. There's gonna be too many
Mm.
people who have no money to buy your shit. You replace everybody, so nobody's could afford anything.
Yep.
So I mean, there might come a point where they think that's a good idea, and once they start doing it, they'll see
Dial it back.
the backlash of it, and they're like, we have to give people jobs back. We can't just replace them with robots because nobody's making
Nobody's
fucking
worried.
money. All of this is pointless now. So
But
I have a hard time believing that. And also, I was just laughing while you were talking because for some reason I just remembered what you said about the person who messaged you 2 days later
yeah,
after listening. We taught them new slurs.
yeah. You put it. You know what's funny
It
too?
just dawned on me like that's funny.
It was at one of the Felix episodes, which means it was recent. And the funny part about this is how I guess bad we are, is that I was like, a Felix episode. We're we're not that bad during Felix episodes, I feel like.
The Felix episodes with Charlie for some reason get views. Like there's
They
something
like that
about
interact. Oh,
that
you know
whole
what? We'll
thing,
just
yeah.
start producing a podcast. We'll both quit this podcast, but we'll produce it with just Felix and
And put
Charlie.
Charlie in, that would be great. I'm into that idea. Also, I think I know what you're talking about because my nephew messaged me. He
Yeah.
listened to it, or no, he probably just watched one of the clips,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and he just writes, "Thank you for introducing me to the word pinko. Like I now have
Oh,
like
yeah.
another, I now have another slur I could use."
I don't even remember. I heard that word like a long time ago by it was actually a comic, and he was a gay comic, and he was making a joke that some he was called like a pinko whatever, right? And that was the
Hmm.
first time I'd heard that word was thing, but I actually don't know like the etymology of it or whatever.
I'd heard before, I can't recall where, but that old man on the fucking train, like he was just breathing heavy and he was like growling. Like everyone was so nervous around him. Because number one, he's
Uh
an old man. He was kind of like one of those bigger old men too.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, he's kind of like number one, you can't hit an old man. You lose that fight all the time. It's like hitting a woman in public. You
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
hit
yeah.
a senior.
You
So
just said you
he's
added in
basically
public. It's like hitting a woman in public. Yeah, you're going to do that at home where no one's there to judge you.
that's a private matter. The time and place. Like, come on.
It's between a man and his side piece.
But when he screamed out pinko, like I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
just like, I know this word. Like it has to mean it's old school,
Well, I have it in
like
front of me. Do you want to guess?
woke. I think
Yeah,
woke
okay.
is like,
It's a good guess.
yeah.
So it's a derogatory term or pejorative term that was coined in 1925 in the United States to describe a person that is strongly sympathetic, affectionate, or supportive of communism, though not necessarily a communist themselves. So, and
Sure.
then they said in like more of recent terms, it's like leftist or whatever. So it's basically someone who's not all the way like you're communist, but you're sympathetic to these communists that not me,
Yeah.
but like one person like
Well,
me hates.
it's like they hear these commie ideas that sound like all utopian and
Yeah, yeah,
we're
yeah,
gonna be so, and they go like, oh, that's nice. Oh, that's cute. Like those people, they're like, oh, that sounds
yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
But they don't care really. It just sounds fluffy and nice. Those are pinkos.
You know
Perfect.
who probably hates Pinkos? And I think I'll do like a. I only have
Our
two.
our listeners.
Yeah. No, do you know Judge Joe Brown?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, the TV judge for a long time. He's retired now or whatever. Judge, you have to check it out. Judge Joe Brown is fucking wild. He does like interviews now because he's like super like I think he's like very right wing or whatever. But even some of the stuff he doesn't even talk about, like right-wing stuff. Like I watched an interview where he talks about why Cosby is innocent and why he shouldn't be in jail. And he just like in his, if you guys don't know, like Joe Brown, he talks like in a very like, and then I went to the store, and he has this like drawn out, like really
Forrest Gump.
Yeah. But like old, even when he was young, he sounds like an old man. It's just like the way he talks. But it's so fucking funny because he also has no filter anymore because he's not on TV. It's like he basically, if you in interviews, they've asked him like, "Why did your show end?" And he said they were trying to make me push across the gay agenda. Like they want. It's so fucking funny. You have to check out Joe Brown. You know what? I'll just play like a 2-second clip of him. He's so fucking funny. This is him talking about they're changing a law. This is actually interesting. They're trying to change a law in the U.S. It's related to like sexual assault or whatever.
He look at that. He looks like he went to Diddy parties.
He talks about Diddy too.
Okay,
he talks about Diddy
him.
too. Yeah.
They want to make this a felony. If you say, hey, let's go out to dinner, you go out to dinner, it's a great night, good restaurant, the wine is cool, the conversation's great, it's spring or fall, you decide to go for a walk in the park and you hold hands and somebody says,
that is Joe
your
hat.
place or mine.
Yeah, it's Joe hat, which is clearly a MAGA type hat, but it says Judge Joe instead. And he's in a denim suit. He's great.
And you get to somebody's place and kissing and hugging and petting and all of that. It gets hot, heavy, and everybody gets all hot, wet, and bothered, and clothes come off, and you get it on. Is that rape? Of course not. That's human nature. But they want to make it rape because what they say is it's supposed to not happen because that's rape by seduction. If you seduce somebody, that too is rape. So you're supposed to carefully ask and say, do you want to have sex? And if somebody says, let's have sex, then you can proceed. You want to go further.
This old man, he talks about sex for like, this video is 15 minutes long. He talks about sex the whole time.
He's not wrong. Every time I approach it that way, I get laid.
There's also a word. I'm gonna see if I catch it. I don't want to waste time with this or whatever. But there's like he starts
Would
referring.
Would you like to have sex?
Would you like to
have sex? Can I touch you on the hip?
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
But I'm telling you, if you watch this whole interview, you're even making it mild. He'll be like, that's what happens. Is you touch the pussy likes it. Like it's like vulgar-ish like that. That's human nature.
He is like that creepy uncle now that just got out of the pen.
Yeah, he does.
You're right.
He does look.
He's like in a denim fucking suit, like a fucking prom fucking, but it's all denim.
He's dressed like an oil man, and he was a judge,
or like an old school fucking janitor. Like janitors used to wear.
Yeah.
Everything was jean.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if I catch it. There's a term he uses now. He replaces like sex with like it's like saying sexual gratification, but he thinks of a different way of saying it.
What got screwed?
Yeah. He says
months later, something pops out. A success.
This is what the term he uses. You'll hear it. He starts describing what normal sex is if you try to have sex with someone and they want to have sex with you. This is what he calls it.
It looks like felon Mr. Magoo.
He does look like that guy in any prison movie who's like the young guy who comes in and he's like, let me rap at you, youngster. I tell you about this prison or whatever. And he tries to get him to read.
He looks like he talks about Andy Dufresne a lot.
A successful screw. That's what it's all about. And a successful screw, 9 months later, something pops out what got screwed. And then it grows up and it has a successful screw and something else pops out. And that's why we have all these people on this planet and why we didn't all die out in the last ice age, But these clowns want to disrupt that cycle and say somehow or another what humans have been doing for the whole time we've been here is somehow wrong.
Calls it a successful screw. He said,
But fucking.
he said, fuck. He says, fucking. He's like, one person had a successful screw, and then led to another person who's the screwy.
Yeah.
And then that person grows up and has a successful screw, and that's way of him saying we have kids and grandkids.
Dude, I'm gonna start referring to women as screwies.
Screwies.
That's a good one.
Next time I have sex, I'm going to tell my girl, I'm like, well, that was a successful screw.
I'm gonna shout to my girlfriend, "Hey, Screwy, where's my coffee?"
But this is one thing I found we have to cover because it's an update. We can get back. We can finish this podcast talking about whatever you want to talk about, but we have to cover this. There's an update to a story that we've covered, I think, on more than one occasion because it's just an interesting story. Does the name what's her first name? Sherry Papini mean anything to you?
No.
Okay, so Sherry Papini, it'll get described, but she was that lady who faked her own kidnapping to spend time away from her husband. And then like the husband was looking for her and, then she like comes back home and she's like, they released me. And she has this whole story, but it turns out she was just with her side guy boyfriend. And
Sure.
She made up a whole story, and then she ends up getting in
that
trouble.
Old gag.
That old gag, yeah. It was a whole big story. Well, she comes out now she's out of jail now, and she wants to defend herself, and it was just super interesting. That's my half-naked women.
Sherry Papini went to prison after admitting she planned and faked her own kidnapping. Now she's going on TV and changing her story, saying it wasn't a hoax.
Astonishing new claims by Sherry Papini, who now says she really was kidnapped.
The story that the world thinks they know is that I am a master manipulator who's fooled everyone. Sorry. I'm going to do ridiculous things because some of this is ridiculous.
The California mom vanished while jogging in 2016, then reappeared weeks later, bruised.
Well, she reappeared bruised and stuff like that. So obviously it would seem that it was real.
Yeah.
The husband had called the cops. He's looking for her, all this kind of stuff. But the funny thing is, just to remind, is that there's full-length video of watching the cops talk to her and the husband and describe what happened. And you can see the husband figuring it out over several interviews that his wife is lying about stuff. And then also you get to watch the cops tell the husband that your wife faked her own kidnapping. And you can see the change in her. And currently, I think they'll probably say this, but currently he's moved away with I think they had 1 or 2 kids, and he lives somewhere else and just moved on with his life and left her in prison. But she has a defense for the whole thing.
And
He should have told her,
claiming her injury.
He should say to her that him and the kids were kidnapped.
We don't know where we are.
Yeah.
We're in a wood panel house. So this is video from when she's telling the cops what happened to her.
Were the work of 2 female kidnappers.
Do you have anything that you want to say?
In 2022, she pleaded guilty to staging her own kidnapping and served 11 months in jail. But Papini is now leveling explosive accusations against her ex-boyfriend, James Reyes, saying he was the one who kidnapped, beat, and drugged her. In the new documentary, Sherry Papini, Caught in the Lie, Papini reenacts the moment she says Reyes kidnapped her while on a jog.
The phone, it dropped.
Papini says she hid Reyes' identity from authorities because he terrified her. But after her reappearance, Reyes told authorities it was Papini who asked him to help her run away and stage her injuries. He was never charged. In the new documentary, Papini takes a lie detector test in an attempt to back up her new kidnapping claims.
Were you free to leave at any time without...
I have to fucking see this documentary. I can't believe this is a documentary. I have to see this.
fear?
I watched one recently called American Nightmare.
Yeah.
And this one was about what seemed like, because the story was so outrageous what the boyfriend and the girlfriend told.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So what's it called? But nobody believed them.
Yeah,
Like they
yeah.
were put on the news like that they
Oh, I think I
hoaxed, that
saw
that was
this
a
one.
hoax, and they
Yeah.
fucking faked the whole thing. And then years later, there really was a guy going around doing this shit. But like nobody believed it. Imagine you have such a
Yes, I
crazy
saw this.
story that
Yeah,
happened to
yeah.
you. And then, but you know what? Back in those days, if I was watching it, I would be like, they faked it because the
Yeah,
guy's
yeah,
so
yeah,
fucking autistically awkward and weird. It looks like he's lying. The chick kind of is also kind of weird, so it looks like she's lying. But what if you're just weirdos that had a bad fucking thing?
yeah. Yeah, your lies, your truths is you telling it
Yeah,
like this. I was kidnapped, but that's how you talk all the time. Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, but we think you did it. I would never kidnap.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
why
yeah,
would
yeah.
you
It's
say it like
yeah.
that?
I
Yeah.
I think with this case though, Sherry Papini. So it as like a recap. So yes, I forgot about this. She disappears. Husband puts out a thing like she said she was going on a jog, but he wasn't at home at the time. She texted him like I'm going on a jog or whatever, right? She disappears. She was with the dog. I think they find the dog later and they're like, "Well, where's my wife? Here's the dog." Right? And she's gone for like days to a week. I can't remember how long, but eventually she slinks back to the home. She says, I was kidnapped by these two Hispanic women. I can't really describe them to you, you know, whatever. That's when they start, like the cops, the more they talk to her, they start figuring out, like, there's a lie in here somewhere, but we don't know why she would be lying or whatever. And then eventually the end story is they find a guy who would have been involved in the kidnapping, but it turns out that's her boyfriend and she's cheating on her husband. And he admits, he's like, she wanted to get away from her husband and she was thinking of starting a new life. And I was hiding her. And even his like little brother was in on it too and would like help hide her. So what she's saying is that my ex-boyfriend lied. He kidnapped me. And then when he was caught, he said I was a part of it and he skated. I was actually kidnapped. I don't know what her argument. I have to watch this documentary. I don't know what she's gonna say. Why she never had told them that. Like, fine, that story's coming through, but once you're in court, you must eventually go. Okay, well now I have to tell the truth. My boyfriend kidnapped me, and he's the one telling you I faked it.
But
You
like,
can
if
bring it
this
up.
lady, but like, I'm just surprised. Not really though. At the same time, I guess it's just
Yeah.
annoying that there's still a news team that'll go out and interview her. At this
Yeah,
point, you
yeah.
go like, "What do you mean? No, now you're kidnapped." It's like, just let the cops deal with you, and then we'll just get the information from them. Like, why are we even putting a camera
Why are
on
we
this bitch?
talking?
But I get why, because she's a blonde white woman. So
Yeah, she was like, obviously she's a little older now, but she was definitely like, she was a pretty girl who got kidnapped and her husband. It was all a weird story. The part they leave out too is it's not just that, you know, whatever, she faked her kidnapping and wasted police resources. That's whatever. She got money from people. It was like this is a long time ago, but it was like that year's version of like doing like a GoFundMe or something like that where you know she got money and then that was considered stealing from the community off of a lie. So I have to
I
watch this
saw,
documentary to understand how
yeah,
you argue. Even if your boyfriend kidnapped you, you you still lied and took people's money saying it was a random person that kidnapped
yeah,
you.
yeah. I saw a Brett Favre documentary.
Oh, that's so
Uh,
good. It's
yeah,
dumb though at the
dude,
same time.
I didn't know this before, but like apparently he was like investigated for funneling money that was going to like a welfare thing. So it
Yeah,
was to support
to
the poor,
build
the
a
poor, to build a volleyball fucking
court
stadium, or
for
yeah,
for
for
his
his
daughter.
stepdaughter. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Wow.
the only thing that
Scumbag, dude.
he's a fucking scumbag. He used
Yeah.
community money to take care of, and he's already rich. The only thing that bothered me about that documentary is that they devoted half of the time of that documentary to him texting this girl a lot.
Which is
And
like a non-story, really.
yeah, it's like he's a bad husband for sure. But it's
Sure.
not documentary
So
worthy
it's not
that he
surprising. Yeah. And that chick that they kept interviewing was so annoying. Like everything she was talking about was like, I did this and I want to do that. And then she was like, she was so irritating that I'm just like, why are we paying too much attention to her?
She spoke
the
about
fucking scandal with the funds being that's the documentary. That should be
exactly.
Yeah.
There should have been way more time on him funneling community welfare money into expensive tennis or volleyball court, whatever it was for his daughter, is way more important. And that's like the
ripping
end.
Off poor people is hilarious.
They did a documentary about a husband who cheats on his wife, and then at the end they said, "Oh yeah, by the way, he embezzled money of community fund."
A sports athlete superstar cheating on his wife. Dude, there are guys in college that play sports that cheat on their wives or their girlfriend. It's just fucking athletes' behavior. Like,
and then she goes
to tell you
her last statement. She goes, and the funny thing is, I've never even met him in person. And in my head, I go, then who cares?
Right.
You just go on with your life.
He was just creepy with you.
He's creepy.
And you know why he did it? Because like there was 2 other female employees that he did that with who probably slept with him. Who probably blew him. So he thinks he could get away with it with her. What she should have done was told her the fuck if she really had a problem with it, was to send those messages to the fucking wife or make sure the wife.
Yeah.
If anything. But no, it's just like she acted stupid about it, and now she's trying to play the fucking like the victim. So you got a dick pic from a superstar.
And
poor
look,
thing.
If he had her fired, that's bad, but it just felt like not as important as the second part of the story, and it bothered me that so much time was given to that, whereas stealing money from a community that helps poor people is way more of a bigger story and should have been the main thing. And they could have been like, by the way, he also cheats on his wife, and I would have been like, oh, and harass this woman. That would have been my other problem with her is, and we've been talking for a while. When she describes her career trajectory, she describes it almost as some sort of God-given moment in history that had to happen.
Right. You're just some bimbo that people were just plastering all over the fucking TV because it's just back in those days that was just cheap content that people ate up. And it's embarrassing, and you shouldn't be talking about it. We should be talking about those poor people that got ripped off by Brett Favre.
Yes, they were. She was more important. The beautiful white woman was more important than all the poor people from a community that didn't get paid.
Now, if that was a community of poor, beautiful white women,
that would have been different.
Yes, then people would care more.
All right. Anything you want to add before we close up the podcast?
Not really. I guess. I mean, I wanted to mention. That I've been obsessed with trying to buy this gum called Neuro gum.
Okay. It fixes
it's
autism?
Supposed to like, I mean, it fixes your memory.
Oh,
it makes you focus. Neuro gum, and I'm this water is making me weird because now I'm just like trying to buy it obsessively, but it's always sold out. So I'll put remind me when it's restocked, and then I'll go when it's restocked, sold out. So I just want to shout out NeuroGum on this podcast so that maybe they could send us a few free packs. I've never had it before, but it seems awesome.
I don't think it'll happen because remember that time I was talking about Subway sandwiches a lot? Nothing came of that.
True. Well, I'm going to send this clip to NeuroGum. That's all I want to say.
Okay. All right. Thanks for listening.